And all you guys are going to look bad because you'll be laughing at the guy that killed thousands of people in fucking Hollywood. You'll be like, ah! It's like an NBC Burbank is detonated.
They'll be like everybody throwing their arms up with Hitler, like that whole crowd. You know their relatives are still alive today.
Right.
That's my grandfather right there. But the thing about it is there is, when we go back to the integrity factor, you do have it with that. Whether that's always a good thing or a bad thing. But I was bringing up that people in these corporations, and I think government is the same way, people just get there and just try to keep that job as long as they can. They know it's not permanent.
I understand, but at the same time, they have pretensions of artistic. I wouldn't mind if they spoke and just said, "Look, man, I'm covering my ass." But these people have fucking aspirations, and they talk shit their whole lives about trying to do artistic stuff. That's the part that drives me crazy.
So they'll actually sit there and say to you, "We want the kind of stuff you're talking about."
Oh, they fucking. That's the sad thing. You can never act your way out. When there's some subject that's constantly on your mind, you start spewing like it's so relaxed. My fucking venom is so relaxed and organic now. But that's since the 80s. Push the envelope.
Right.
Fucking edgy. They use these words, and it just, I mean...
Does it sometimes hurt that your anger brings laughter? That your pain?
It's nice. Usually, it's one person has to be suffering listening to me ramble. So I just have
someone is having coffee with you.
Yeah,
I know, Colin. It's awful. Yeah, you should be huge. Should have Oscars by now.
Something like that. That's pretty basically it, Rod.
So when you spun that into Tough Crowd, you did find a home there for this show.
Yes, at first.
Yeah.
It was definitely a home as far as they were like, look, this show belongs with us. You know, it's like, you know, and I was like, yeah. But then I did it there, and then, you know, it went great as far as for a while, but trouble ensued. And I blame the dumb comedians, too, because all the comedians, because I love comedians so much, like, and the regulars there, I really did love them more than they deserved in many ways. But they would actually, like, be always like, he always gets canceled. And I was like, But really, I was like, what the fuck, man? Then when it got canceled, I felt like they put it out there.
Right. So they had zero pressure on them. This is just like a fun gig. They get to come in, plug where they're going, and...
But they acted like all the pressure was on them.
Yeah.
Each one would come in. You know how comedians are. They come in every day like, thank God I'm here. Don't worry about it, Kyle. Take a break.
Yeah. How did you get along with all the other shows there at Comedy Central? Did it feel like you were part of it, or... It's just, even on that network, you guys still stuck out like a sore thumb. You just, even on Comedy Central with cable, you're watching this and you're like, is this really television? It was a really different show.
They said there every day, what was said on that show would have gotten you fired from any, you'd be on the front page of every magazine. It was said every day in public, you know?
Yeah.
But, it was, well, I mean, we knew all the other comedians sort of from, you know, I mean, I know Jon Stewart for years, I know all these guys, but I mean, it's not like we hung out with each other. It was just our little world of our show. You know?
But if you watch John's show and the Colbert Show, these are really polished, sharp, well-written comedy shows where you guys were just swinging. it just... Well,
you know, it takes a lot of work to make something look like it's not rehearsed.
It did occasionally look like someone was going to get hit with a chair on the show.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was ridiculous. These guys are out of their mind. But, it got very volatile because we were bringing up real subjects that people just have big opinions on, you know? So every time it was funny, but then it was turned into a screaming match.
Did the networks think they could tweak it at all, or did they just...
they tried to talk to me a couple of times, but there's no talking to him. They tried to talk to me, like, at one point they were like, you know, you guys talk about race almost every day. And I was like, tell Patrice, tell Keith, tell the black comedian. They could, and I mean, what to me, the height of hypocrisy was that they would like say, you guys, they would bleep all black comedians saying the N-word. But Chappelle, which was on later than us, earlier than us, so actually that's, you know, usually. they would say it 50 times, you know?
Right.
So even when the black comedians would say N-word, they'd bleep us.
Well,
because it was a white show, I guess, or whatever they rationale.
Or maybe it's because Chappelle actually wrote that bit, where you guys were just using it.
Describing each other.
Your show, it really felt like it was meant to hurt.
Oh, yeah. Sure it was. But I remember one time they actually said, okay, because I was complaining about this, you know, it was like symbolic to me of everything.
Right.
And I go, you guys, so they go, okay, so the subject was the N-word. So they go, okay, you guys can use it, even the white guys, we're not going to bleep anybody. And the censor came up to me and said, but, you know, try to be, like, do it within reason. So I said, yes, you're right. So, of course, every asshole on the show that day abused all the white guys. Where at the end I was just looking at the censor like, I swear to God, I did not mean any of this. It was like ridiculous what happened that day. So that was like, you know, then in that case the censor was right. I was like, all right, just do whatever you have to do. But yeah, they wanted to change the whole racial component of the show. I mean, it was every day. It was you know, I wouldn't necessarily bring it up, but it would get brought up, and everyone would be talking about it, start yelling, you know. And, I mean, I was, you know, I can't act like I was I'm like, hey, everybody's talking. I was just, oh.
Yeah.
But I mean, but then they were like, why can't you guys talk about, you know, like, celebrity stuff? More celebrity-driven stuff. And I was like, can you imagine me going to, like, Nick DiPaolo, Patrice O'Neill, going, hey, fellas, you heard about the Paris Hilton thing? They would destroy me. You know? I mean, I love doing it, but, you know, whatever. I mean, you know.
You did wrangle. I will give you that. No one, I don't think people who watch that understand what it's like to try to tug that back every once in a while.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I tried, right?
You're right. You did try. But I watched some of it on YouTube, just the other, you know, knowing that you were coming on to do this, and I actually thought at one point, how did this get on YouTube?
That's the ultimate compliment. Now that's a compliment.
I thought,
well, they always gay lip service at comedy supposed to be provoking, you know.
Right, absolutely, absolutely.
People's thoughts out loud that nobody would say.
And truly, in the middle of all these cable networks, so you tell me that we can't have a half hour here and there of this kind of stuff. I mean, it's insane.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
I've been trying to push them for 5.5 years.
Do you have any plans? Is there a big thing that you're thinking about next, or?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm doing a lot of different stuff, you know, trying to get a bunch of stuff going on. But I mean, you know, I've been doing that for years. Like I say, since I left, I write scripts, I write stand-up, I do shows, I do everything.
How about a book? You seem like you got
everyone says to do a book. I don't know why I don't want to write a book. What, a novel? I would write a novel.
Yeah.
I wouldn't write a book, though, you know.
Yeah, not your
like,
show business bio.
Right,
I don't want to waste your time.
Like those, yeah.
I'm looking for Angela's Ashes, Part 2. I have it in my mind that you are the Irish storyteller. That's the thing that you're meant to do. I really do think you can pull that off.
Yeah, maybe I should. Honestly, nothing else is working.
I promised some of these people they could ask questions as well, if you don't mind. But it's been so much fun sitting around here with you. Who do we got here?
Hi, Colin. I was just wondering, when you were scouting for Last Comic Standing, what was it that you were looking for?
First of all, that's a statement that I could sue you for slander. I was a judge on Last Comic Standing as a favor to Jay Moore. He asked me if I'd be a judge. My sex tape. So I didn't...
This kid makes it feel like you're out hitting the bushes, looking for that next big ball player.
He's like, hey, Mr. Autistic. Why are you out scouting for Last Comic Standing? Can I just say one more funny thing about autistic pretensions?
Yeah.
Which I said at Ken Ober's other memorial. One time we were hanging out, and I was talking about stand-up. We were in the middle of an MTV remote control, so we were autographing all the stuff after the show. You know, it's like all these just like, you know, everybody's like wild, drinking point. And I'm talking to Kenny, I'm going, I just, you know, stand up. I started going into this like autistic explanation for stand up. I'm like, you know, because really, I mean, what our essence of what we're trying to do, stand up wise, if you look back, and then just then some girl comes up and hands me a pen and pulls her shirt down for me to sign a tit, and he goes, hey, what do you have to say now, fucking Spalding Gray? But yeah, I was a judge on Last Comic Standing. What was I looking for then? I mean, I've never scouted for them, but I don't know. Well, you got such a scurrilous room.
He was looking for a paycheck. What's the big deal?
You're trying to say what are the things I think stand-up... I mean, stand-up to me, it's like, if I could do it all over again, the way I would do it if I was anybody going into stand-up, is just, I would write every story that happened, I would write each thing in a story that happened to me, so you always have a beginning and end, and then just put in whatever jokes you could do, but I'd make it things that happened to me, you know what I mean? Like, that's the only way to be original. This way, nobody can really steal off you, and you always have an end to your story. So if you're going up stage, if you're doing stand-up, you always have a story of your life. So you'll never fight, you'll never forget it, and you don't just sprinkle the jokes in. But I mean, that's not what I would look for stand-up wise. But like I said, I only judged that one time.
So everything would be
haunt me.
Yeah, everything would be totally personally based for you.
I would base everything on a real story, so you always had an end. Because remember,